Hi guys, this might be a part two, but I don't know. I think it might be a part two, but I'm not sure. But this is like a calmer version because I got a message. I woke up this morning, saw my phone, saw that there was a message on there, and it was a person in my comments asking me what my thoughts on unaliving oneself are. And that's really stressful. Like, not that, I don't welcome any and all questions. And this person doesn't seem like they're in danger of doing something that they're going to regret. I don't know. It was a very vague comment. Not vague, but it was short. It was just like, what are your thoughts? And it's like, okay, well, I'll let you know. I do hope that, there is no other context to their question. But, anyway, I went to work and stuff like that, and as soon as I got off work, I pulled over to the side of the road, and I recorded a video, and I just watched it, and it's fine, I think, but the vibe is too not scattered, but it's like it's not. I think the point of this video right now is to make a calmer version of that video, because like maybe they watch that one and immediately they're like, oh wait, too much energy, can't watch this. Okay, so you have this version, okay, where I'm just a lot calmer and I'm not on the side of the road. I don't know, like, and hopefully it's shorter, because the last one's like 21 minutes or something. Maybe this one will be 21 minutes too. I don't know. I doubt it'll be more, because for me, it's like there's a lot to say, but long answer short, no. Like, I don't think it's a sin or anything like that, but it's a lot more complicated than that. Like, in short, I think 99% of cases, I do not think it's the right thing to do. It's again, not that it's a sin or anything per se, but because it's just not, it's not the answer to your problem. It's just that's it. It's just, that's not going to solve your problem. The problems you have at hand, your existence. I'm sure it's a multitude, especially if you're at that point. Yeah, it's a multitude of things that are bogging you down within your existence. But anyway, I took notes. So, because number one, you are going to regret it. A year or two ago, I fell into the rabbit hole of hearing stories about people who this was usually from the perspective of their family and friends, but of hearing about people who had jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and also people who jumped off, went down the falls of Niagara Falls. Where's that? I have no idea where that is. Michigan? But, within those documentaries, there was also included people who, at least one that I can remember right now, people who had survived doing those things. And like one specifically was a guy that jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge, and now he has dedicated his life to talking to kids and such about unaliving yourself, and just how it's just not the answer, because as he felt and states to anybody who asks, or books him for an oration of his experience, I think 99% of the time when somebody does that, the first thing that goes through their head is shit. No, I didn't want to. I regret this. This was a bad idea. This is not good. I wish, stop. I don't want to do this, right? It's just instant. Regret is, it's not, that's putting it lightly. Like, as soon as somebody, like, no, it's just, because it's just the instant realization that, like, fuck, I didn't want to do this. And I don't know why. I mean, it's hard to say why. I've never been in a state of wanting to unalive myself So, I've obviously never done that. Never had a near-death experience. But with near-death experiences, I wonder if it's the same for somebody who unalives themselves, where at another time I went down the rabbit hole of people who have near-death experiences, and a lot of them say that they get like a life review. They kind of like see their whole life. I don't know if it's backwards or from the start to where they are now. Like you just kind of get like all the frames at a very tremendous rate or something. But a lot of them also said that they experience like the perspective of everyone that they had hurt. So, not that you should really be thinking about anybody but yourself. I know that sounds selfish, but like, yeah, if your death is if you're surrounded by people who love you, maybe you just don't see that, understand that, believe that. Like, if you're surrounded by people who love you and you're just going to hurt them, maybe when you go to unalive yourself and it's a failed attempt, like you might see how much you hurt the people around you, and just kind of missed or misunderstood their love. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. I have not eaten enough today. So for my context, for you, like my brain is running on boiled shrimp right now. And I've had a 12-hour day. So yeah, it's just, you're going to regret it. Like, you're just going to regret it. Like, the Indians believe in this thing called Samsara. If you are in that state of life, and in that state of wanting to unalive yourself, you need to know about Samsara. I believe it's the Indian people who believe in it, where it's like they kind of sum up like life is just this reoccurring wheel of life and death, life and death, life and death, and the only way to get out of that wheel is to live a life of such high vibe, like joy basically at all times, no matter what happens to you. Because as soon as you live that life of pure and constant joy, when you die, you will then get to leave the wheel. You will be ricocheted from that wheel, and you will actually get to go to heaven or whatever it is. I'm not sure. Join the gods somewhere. And you will finally not have to suffer anymore. Because, yeah, dude, like, I'm not going to at all ever say that to you or otherwise to anybody. Like, I've known this, like, life is suffering. Like, that's a Buddhist thing, fairly certain, that life is suffering. And for a few years now, like, I have said to people, like, life is trauma. Life is like constant trauma. Because humans, like, we are so smart. We are so smart. We are so advanced. We are so cognizant of so many things, like life and death. Like, I really don't think animals think about life and death very much. They're just kind of running on pure instinct. And, I don't know, birds have magnets in their head that tell them when to start flying where, hundreds, thousands of miles. Deer and stuff like that, they know when to mate, who to mate with. I think it's a nose thing. Like, they get the luxury of having instincts and stuff like that. And, again, I don't know, but I seriously doubt they get to think about things like death and like cancer, like they just don't get to that level. But us humans, we do. We know of, all of us could name at least 20 ways that we could die today or die in general. And that's really, really depressing, because not only that, we know, especially now with the internet and stuff like that, we know of so many things that are just really, 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 really shitty. Like, really, really, really shitty, really, really sad, really, really demoralizing, really unfair things, like, I don't even want to go into the list, because if you, let's say you haven't heard of one of those things, you're going to go down that rabbit hole. And I don't know, like the other day I was watching somebody, I don't know who it was. Oh yeah, it was that Madison Sarah girl. And she was describing her mom. And she was saying that, like, her mom's somebody who's like very because she was describing her very religious background, upbringing, and her mom's just one of those people who, like, she lives and brought her up, Sarah, in a very, or Madison, in a very bubble wrapped sort of existence, you know, as most people from religious upbringings would say. They just lived a very sheltered, you know, bubble wrapped sort of life. And you know, well, that's not the best way to go about life, you know, because like we are just so curious, you know, especially as teenagers and such. Like, you gotta kind of know what's out there, you know, like even the Mormons, they have that 1 year, like when the kid turns like 20 or 21, where they get thrown out of the clan for a year, and they have to go out into the real world, and then at the end of that year, you know, they get the opportunity to come back, and most do, right? Most do. But you know, it's just, once we've all been, you know, we've all had a lot of bubbles within our wrap popped, especially if you're on the internet. You have had so many things popped in your head that it's just like, oh my fucking god, humans are terrible. But you know, for just as many bad things, there are good, if not 10 good things. Like, humans are actually really, really cool. They are. Like, I know that they can be shitty in stressful situations. And the developed world is actually a very, very stressful situation, very stressful series of situations. In general, there's still a lot of very good people out there. And for the most part, I do feel like the majority of people, you know, would help somebody if they needed it, you know, like, I don't know. So yeah, like, if you, like, that's just the theme of the answer, is like, if you do that, you're not getting out. You're gonna have to just restart, because life is kind of, we've all played Monopoly, right? Like, it's fun, but it's long. Like, to finish a game of Monopoly is like a minimum of like 5 hours. Like, that shit is long. I really don't know if there's a game that takes more time to finish. I swear to fucking God. But like, you know, if you put the game away and then you pull it out again, you're gonna have to just restart, right? And, you know, starting over, you know, even within the game, like, it's painful. But, you know, should you have not put the game away, you know, i.e. unalived yourself, you will still have that progress of not having as much experience to acquire. You know, experience is never wasted unless you never learn from it and you keep making the same goddamn mistakes over and over and over, right? Like, mistakes are meant to be made, but they're so that you can learn, because then it's not a mistake, it's a lesson. You know, if you keep making the same mistake over and over, like, what's the saying? Like, it's not a mistake, it's, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I just read it the other day, like Diary of CEO or something, but it's like, you're really just punishing yourself because you keep putting yourself in that same predicament over and over and over. It's insanity. Like, why keep making this same mistake over and over and over? Why not just learn from it, you know, and grow and make better mistakes, right? So yeah, point 3, if I even am doing this right, numerically speaking, yeah, remember that everyone suffers. Like, check out that Madison Sarah girl. Like, she suffers all the time. Not all the time, but like, she does suffer. Like, what I like about her channel is like that she's very, very open with her struggles, and she's a gorgeous girl, right? Gorgeous girl, like, on top of the world, just a model, you know, has friends, but like, she's very open with her life, and you get this weird perspective into somebody whose life should be, from the outside, looks perfect, but like, if you watch her videos, like, really, really watch her videos, you'll see that she has down days and she has down experiences, and it's not like all her relationships are just tea and crumpets. Like, there's failure, she experiences failure, she has pressure, like, you know, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, they're often very unhappy, too, you know, have bouts of unhappiness. rich people, broader spectrum, people who are very, very fit, right? Lean Beef Patty, you check out her reels mostly. It's not really in her videos so much, but in her reels, she's very open about how tough it is to be somebody who's like basically known for just having a really buff bod, especially as a woman. Like, everyone suffers. So, like, don't think that, again, I don't mean to diminish your suffering and what you're going through, but like, you have to know that like everyone suffers. So if anything, if you are suffering, you need to look at why are you suffering? And if it's for nothing, if it's for the sake of your family's sick pleasure, right? Like, unfortunately, a lot of us are born to families that do not appreciate us, do not understand us. I'm one. And well, you don't have to like be mean about it, like loud about it. If anything, like, you can just distance yourself. I know a lot of people, I work with a lot of people who just distance themselves from their relatives, certain relatives, or their entire family, because it's just like, you know what, like, we just don't mesh. We don't see eye to eye. I don't like how you raise your kids. I think it's child abuse. You don't like how I raise my kids. You think I didn't try hard enough. Like, everyone is their own person, and everyone does have the right to surround themselves with people, blood or otherwise, that love them, who see them, who understand them, who help them. And yeah, I don't know, like, for some of us, we just don't get that with our families, which is very sad. It's very heartbreaking. But, like, right now, especially, like, you have to understand, like, we are at the peak of human population. From now on, there's only going to be fewer and fewer people. So it's actually really funny to be, should anyone be feeling lonely right now, because it's like, dude, there's literally never going to be more people on this earth right now. Like, and there are so many avenues of meeting people. You could do what I've done, like start a YouTube channel. Like, I've met some cool people. In my first take of this video, which I may or may not put up, like in the middle of it, my friend Nico texted me, and I met him through this channel. It was in the beginning of my channel, and I was like, hey, if anybody lives in Washington, hit me up. Let's fucking go to the beach. And that's what we did. We met up, and like, because I don't live in fear. I refuse to live in fear. I know a lot of people would be like, what? You met up with a subscriber and you didn't take like a gun, or, it's like, no, I was smart about it. I met at a public beach where there was other people. I had my dog with me, but yeah, no, I never at any point, because you can tell when somebody's a creep, right? And you can tell likewise, you can tell when somebody's not a creep, right? And Nico's not a creep. So you just have to put yourself out there. And, I am an introvert, right? But introverts can unite too, right? There's just very many ways of meeting people who can and will only add to your life. Like Nico, he taught me about XRP. Dude, I made like $300 off XRP, right? And he in that video earlier, he texted me about, again, more XRP. Chase is accepting it for mortgage payments. Like, the legitimacy of this tip that he's giving me is real, and it's only going to help me. So, there are people who only want to be that to you, helpful. And I think right now, should you be feeling like you want to unalive yourself, I think you have to look within yourself and think, am I shut down because I have so many choices to make? Like, I feel like I have so many choices. Because I feel like a lot of people, again, I've not been in that situation of wanting to do that to myself. But I feel like for a lot of people, it would be because they feel like it's not that they don't have any agency over their lives, but it's like they have too many choices to make. And it's choice fatigue and choice paralysis. And so they don't want to, it's like when you go to the grocery store, you want like a box of cereal or something, and you go to the aisle. It's a whole aisle, and it's just like 300 different boxes of different types of cereal looking at you. And you get to a point where you're just like, and you go with like what ends up being like the shittiest choice when you're checking out, you're like, God, what? I went with fucking Wheaties? What? Why did I do that? Like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just go for the goddamn Fruit Loops? Why did I talk myself out of the Fruit Loops? Because of the red dye. And the sugar content. And the glyphosate. And, like, sometimes you just gotta get the goddamn Fruit Loops, okay? I don't know what that means, metaphorically speaking. I am sorry. You gotta take leaps of faith. You have to channel your suffering into constructive growth, aka a character. Like, again, life is suffering, life is traumatic. So why not choose traumatic avenues that add to your character? Like, for example, personal anecdote. At one point, I was working a 9-to-5, literal 9-to-5 job. But I was like, not happy. And also, I was given 3 goats, and I was 24, and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to join this farm, this goat farm, as an intern, where I make $50 a week, taking care of about 400 goats. Like, I'm just going to leave my 9-to-5 fucking job that pays me, I don't know, probably at least $900 every other week for $50 a fucking week. I mean, I also got to live in a shitty, broke-down RV and, like, a meal a day. So, like, for me, that was enough. Like, I started my life over at 24, and that was very traumatic. There was a lot of suffering. Milking goats, I don't know if you know, that shit starts at 5 a.m. on the dot. Because you have to do it 12 hours later at 5 p.m., you know? And goats got to be in bed by like 7, because they got to get up at fucking 4 for your ass to milk them again. Like, it's terrible. Farming is terrible. But out of that suffering, I got incredible character. I got so strong. I got so well nourished with, unlimited goat milk, basically. And that's where I got Lander, right? Like, you're going to suffer, so at least have fun with it, Again, take leaps of faith. Because you never know, like, that was a rock bottom. And from there, like, I got a great dog, and we lived 11 amazing years together. It was only up from there. I met cool people. They put me in college. They helped me with my green card. Like, because I took a leap of faith and I suffered for something that was good and pure, right? Like, raw goat milk, even though, like I just said, farming is terrible, but like raw goat milk is a very true thing. That is a true endeavor. And the lady that ran the farm is super Christian, right? And, she meant well. I think a lot of Christians mean well. She did, anyway. So, I don't know, like, you're going to suffer. But, if you take leaps of faith, like, you will, 9 times out of 10, you will be rewarded for that. And, like, remember, or not remember, but you have to realize that, like, you're probably pretty smart. And 50% of people in this world are dumber than you, and 50% are smarter. So if the 50% of people that are dumber than you have lives and houses and families and cars and dogs and stuff like that, why wouldn't you? You're smarter than them. You're smarter than half the population, and they're making it. Why wouldn't you? Like, don't be so afraid. Don't be so scared. Like, you're privy to living on this earth. You're a human. Like, that's such a wonderful, miraculous thing. Like, I don't think there's any animal or fish or insect or anything on this earth that wouldn't want to be a human. Being a human is a God-given privilege. Whether or not you believe in God, like, it is a privilege to be human. Suffer in a passionate way. And do what I do. If you don't have specific dreams to suffer for, right? Farm. Like, start at the bottom, bitch. Like, there's WWOOF-ing, I don't know. I think it's WWOOF, Worldwide Organization for Organic Farming. I think that's what the WWOOF stands for. Just go. Just go. They'll feed you. They may or may not pay you. I don't know. But you'll get experience and you'll meet people and maybe you'll get a dog and your life will probably only go up from there. You know, just surround yourself with good people. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from sex. Like, surround yourself with good people. Make sure they're good people. And from there, maybe you can smoke some weed together. Maybe you can share a drink. Maybe you can have a little coitus together. But first and foremost, you have to make sure that those people that you do those three things especially with are good people. You do not want to do those three things in other branches of those things that are untrustworthy people who are only gonna who only want you to do that to take advantage of you, who only want you to do that so that you can enable their bad decisions, because those things can very quickly turn into bad things that rule your life and just limit you and bog you down and hold you down, right? Save your money, save your money, save your money. Please save your money. Don't spend it, just like I said, don't spend it on copious amounts of weed, on drugs in general, on alcohol, on sex, chasing sex. Like, save your money, get a car, get a van, get an RV, live in it, save your money, find somebody cool, live in a cabin, live in a house, live in an apartment, just, if and when you feel safe with somebody, then you can join lives and it can be a wonderful thing. Don't be afraid of being alone. It's not a bad thing if you're alone, whether you're extroverted or introverted. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to be alone. If anything, that's a time when you should really focus on creating yourself, because it's when you create yourself that you find yourself, not the other way around. You don't find yourself. What? You have to create yourself to find yourself. You don't find yourself. Yeah, you do. It works both ways. I don't know, you guys. Yeah, just really want to say, only entertain the people who love you, who see you, who want to help you create a good life, a good self, a good future. If that's not your family, yeah, you're going to have to get away from them. You're going to have to get away from them. If you live in a place that's full of toxic people, you're going to have to get away from them. Like, on the bright side though, like, humans are made to walk. Like, we are physically made to walk. That's like the one thing that we do the best. We can run longer than like any animal. Maybe not as fast as a lot of them, but we can run longer than basically any animal. A human's ability to run long distances is basically unparalleled. You can look that up. I'm fairly certain that's right. Again, we all suffer. The smart ones of us, the happiest ones of us, are suffering for the things that we love and know fulfill us. Like parents, like farmers, like artists, right? Like, they're pretty happy, healthy people because they know why they're suffering. If you don't know why you're suffering, step one, you have to find out, like, why are you suffering? Why do you feel like you need to unalive yourself? Is it your parents? Okay, then get away from your parents. Is it your friends? Okay, go leave your friends. Like, hitchhike, if anything. Like, if you really, truly, truly are at that point, don't. Pack your shit and start walking. If you're truly meant to be unalive, a stranger will do it, right? Although and then it's on them. It won't be on you. But again, there is no escape. You'll just have to start over. Like, you'll literally just have to start over. And like, let's say you unalive yourself in a way that traumatizes other people. Like, you'll probably, because of that, you'll have to start over in a body, in a life that is even worse off than the one that you had this time around, because you traumatized somebody else, But even if you don't traumatize somebody else, like you just walk into the forest and you unalive yourself and nobody ever finds your body, You'll just have to start over in a body, in a life that is basically the same level at which you unalived yourself from. Like, there's just no escape. There only is escape through joy. Samsara, look into it. I'm sure the Indian people right now are just like, you fucking bitch, shut the fuck up. You know nothing. I'm sorry. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I totally just noticed that this is 30 fucking minutes long, and I'm so sorry for that, okay? Like, but I do love you very much, and I think I will get a burner number, so if somebody needs to contact me, they can. But I really am open to helping people out, listening and stuff like that. I just have to figure out the way to do that, which is, it's not hard. I think I'm just going to make a burner number and I'll put it in the description. Maybe not right now, tonight. It's Thursday, the 10th of September, or is it the 5th? Probably the 5th. But if it's not in the comments right now today when I put out the video, maybe by tomorrow the 6th. I don't know. I just got to figure it out. And I got to eat some dinner first. And it's already like 8 o'clock at night. So, you know. But please take care of yourselves. Don't start over. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, you guys. Like, it's not worth it. Take care.